welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. And our guest today is Brianna. And Brianna, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do.
Hi, my name is Brianna Keaton. I am a Los Angeles, California native, right where the sunny beaches are and beautiful weather is from. I am the owner of Humble Teas LA. I am a serial entrepreneur, so dibble and dabble in a few different things. But Humble Teas is my baby as well as my Primerica franchise. It's my two biggest things.
Awesome. So,
Nice.
how did you get your job as the founder of Humble Teas?
What's crazy? I actually had gone through a period of grief, and I was looking for, an outlet to kind of go along with my grief journey. So you know how, so story is I lost my brother back in 2015 to gun violence, and while that completely shook my world, I hadn't never dealt with a death so close to me like that. So I was always looking for a way to not let that death consume me, as far as the grief process went. I watched, family or friends probably take a closer loss of a loved one and probably go a different route that causes them to spiral out of control. And I didn't want that for myself. I wanted to be able to find some encouragement because my mom was able to stand tall within, her grief and provide wisdom. And, she just carried so much strength. And so I'm like, I wanted to have that, but also I wanted to be able to put myself out there and share that as well, on how to deal with grief when it's super heavy and can you take, what can you do to kind of alleviate that pain just a little bit. And my way was finding words of wisdom, surrounding myself with people who were very encouraging, uplifting. I started reading a lot more. I was more tuning into my faith, tuning into just more, more encouragement, more positivity, not wanting to let that dark cloud kind of just weigh me down. So I started Humble Teas as a way of, putting words of wisdom on a shirt, kind of as like a self reminder of like, hey, whatever you're going through right now is going to get better. So how about you wear these words of wisdom, something you can see every day, something you can possibly change somebody else's life with, someone else's life with, just something small words of encouragement. And that's really why I started it. I needed something I could see every day, something that was a reminder. I wanted to be a walking reminder of I'm not looking like what I'm going through and things are going to get better. But that's kind of why I started Humble Teas.
That's amazing. So I guess if right now, what does a typical day look like for you?
You know, First thing in the morning is I always got to get myself together, but I'm usually looking at emails. I'm responding to social media, kind of creating a plan on how I want to get more of my message out to the world. How I want to create more designs. Figuring out where to place Humble Teas LA and who can benefit from it. So every day is just more so how can I get the message out? What photos am I going to post? How am I going to engage with my audience? Or, how am I going to remind them that, hey, I have a message to share, all while being fashionable.
Awesome. So in terms of social media, what platform have you found to be like the most effective for you in terms of reaching people?
Instagram. Instagram has been the most profitable for me. And you know what? I will give Facebook a little bit of its props too. But for the most part, I did build Humble Teas LA on Instagram, and that was where a majority of my audience was coming from. And the word of mouth definitely helped to spread, as far as my friends and family being able to share the product. And I've even gotten as far as to Canada. So it was really amazing what social media could do. I didn't know anything about how to even start on social media or anything like that. It was just kind of like I just kind of threw it out there, wanted to see if it stuck, and just kind of watch as other small businesses were kind of growing to see how I can make Humble Teas grow the same.
Cool, that's cool. So, by the way, what's the technology role in your business at this time?
I do all the technology. So I'm a one-woman show when it comes to, handling the technology, handling photography. I do it all. I monitor everything with my laptop or my iPad. If I'm on the go, I have my phone. I use, it's just my three main things that I use as far as the technology goes. Are you meaning like systems or?
What you long for in your system? Like, is there anything that you think like, if I could have this, it will be awesome for my business?
You know, I'm still figuring it out. I want to say that I want to have a more hands-on approach when it comes to becoming a vendor, merchandising my own product, because I do have vendors that I do use. But as far as technology goes, I would like to bring more of a at-home, in-home merchandising equipment. You know, where I'm making my own T-shirts, I'm creating my own merchandise, and not having to, you know, partner with other people to do it. As far as that goes. And then, you know, creating a system that allows, you know, for repetitive customers as well as new customers, as well as, you know, engaging and creating a bigger platform for people to possibly collaborate with our designs. You know, I'm still learning the process, even though I've been in this since like 2016. Every day is new. I'm now getting familiar with the AI chat and things like that, so I can kind of be a little bit more familiar with my audience, and maybe vibe out to more people, branch out to more people. You know, these were a lot of good questions that I probably taken about 5 minutes to think about, and I'll come back and circle back to it. But because I'm a one
Okay.
woman show, I've always started small. I'm always looking to research on how I can grow and expand. Which is why I got into the financial services, because I'm using that to kind of be my venture capitalist on figure out what I want to bring towards the community as far as the t-shirts go.
Nice, nice. So, by the way, as you are a one-man army, so one woman army.
Yeah.
Pardon me, please. So,
Yeah.
I think AI is something really good for you to save time, to perform more efficiently, I believe. So, have you ever thought about this, like your website or your system, wherever you are working, it should be powered by AI? You should add something related to the AI to make your work more efficient, to save your time and get the things done in an efficient manner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I when I first heard about it, I was a little skeptical, but I got to practice with it, and starting to see just even in the last week how the results are changing with just the honestly the vernacular on how I reach the audience is amazing. You know, it's as crazy as it is, I grew up loving to read and things like that. But somehow, when I was posting my own captions or things like that, seems like it wasn't reaching the audience that I was destined to reach. Versus when I used the AI or the Chat GPT, you know, they were kind of helping me persuade a little bit more different, you know. And I actually like the way that worked because the results were phenomenal, and I'm excited to even, you know, pursue it more and bring it to all my platforms.
So I guess in terms of your shirts, like there's so many different shirt brands. Like what makes you better? Like what separates you from your competition?
One, you will always have a walking reminder with my t-shirts. Two, they are the most comfortable t-shirts you will ever put on. I have to say, people who have had them for about 5, 6 years, they do not wear and tear. The design looks amazing on them. And then my biggest thing is that you will always remember what that shirt said. You always have a thought that brings you back to humble tees. Like, I saw this somewhere, or you hear something familiar. You know, my most popular shirts were the humble shirts. You know, I just created a design that said the word humble because, you know, that's one of the main things that kind of keep you grounded. If you remember to be humble about yourself, because as quickly as things are given, they are taken away. So sometimes that's like your one simple reminder. So I'm a walking reminder. That's what separates me from everyone else. I'm not just in it for fashion, but I'm also going to kind of get your wheels turning. You're going to remember this shirt because it has meaning behind it, and you have meaning too. So you're wearing it for a reason.
Yeah. So, who is doing the design process for your t-shirts? I believe you will be going to you will be doing this design process. Like, is there any other element involved in it?
besides the third parties that I use to actually create the designs, no, everything is more so I come up with it myself. And it's basic. Some of it looks, it just the strategic placement is enough for me, But no, I actually do work on designing my own material. I've always kind of been into graphic design, so I do like to play around with different patterns and just different versions of how you can see the words or the quotes or things like that. So I do all the designing myself. I don't copy and paste.
On the other hand, because again you are working alone, so what's the photo shoot process? Who like do you give this to the companies to make some photo shoot of the product for you, or you are doing this on your own?
I'll do this on my own. Now I do have some help sometimes. My brother is a photographer. I was a photographer for my past life as well as, so I am familiar with how to photograph my products. I used to work with fashion design and merchandising, so I've had great experience on how to set my merchandise up and how to take pictures of the product so it can look as professional as possible. So I do that on my own. When I do need help, if I have decided to do a photo shoot with more than one person, then I do call reinforcements. My brother, he's one of my main photographers. My cousin, she's a photographer as well as a videographer. Then, I have a couple of friends and families who kind of they kind of double as models and consultants as far as fashion stylists. So I do have a community of people that kind of help me while I'm a one-woman army, but I do have some help
That's
that
great.
does help a lot with the production, because sometimes it does get a little bit overwhelming, but I do enjoy it. But if I don't have them available, then I am very much capable of setting up scenes, setting the background, getting the lighting together, the editing, and the whole process of promoting it out.
So you mentioned that your shirts last for 5 to 6 years. That's very impressive because I feel like most of my shirts, I'm lucky like if they last 1 year. So how did you
Yeah.
find that kind of material that can last for that long?
It's a hit or miss. So the one vendor that I did go through, she had a really great selection of t-shirts, and just the brand that she was selling as far as the t-shirts, I really love them. I was not expecting the quality to be that great and or as affordable as it was, but I've had these shirts, I have had some people who've had shirts for about 4 to 5 years, and I've been in business since 2016. So I have even a couple myself that I have not had really bad wear and tear even for the last 3 years, especially when the pandemic hit. There was a t-shirt and what I would say biker shorts or tights kind of era, the ones at home, kicking it at home. And so those t-shirts became real popular as far as becoming an everyday wear or just to throw it on or, however you decide to wear it. But they definitely last a long time. I have a couple myself that are in my own personal wardrobe that I've kind of held on to, and they're still in great condition.
Awesome. So I guess in terms of reaching people, obviously you mentioned social media, but how big is word of mouth for you? Just from friends and family, or is most of or like people finding you, like finding your website, like how big is that compared to Instagram or other social media platforms?
I do value it a lot. And almost like social media, but because it's more direct, you more than likely if someone's telling about the product, they probably have it on like, oh, where'd you get that t-shirt from? And that's where the conversation kind of goes into. And then I'm more than likely have someone calling, oh, hey, I have someone who wants to buy a t-shirt. Where can they find your website? And it's like, oh, hey, you can do it here. I really do value that a lot because it's like, one, you're letting people know that, hey, I have something that is for everyone, as well as, hey, she's got something that I want. And I enjoy that. And it also kind of lets me know that people are supporting me in the smallest way possible. So even if they don't make a purchase, the fact is that my name is in their mouth one way or another, and they're passing the information along to somebody else. And I could always be thankful for that, because some way, somehow, someone's listening. It could have gone through one ear and out the other, but maybe it went to somebody else's ear. I do appreciate word of mouth, and I do feel like it's just as important as social media, you know.
Awesome. So how do you get people, to become repeat customers? Like how often are you putting out new products, new shirts to the market?
Right now, not enough. But I think what's been floating and holding me over, and like I said, it's those popular designs. So, every now and then I have a couple of big orders come in, and I have people kind of like sending photos from when they're brought their merchandise. It just kind of depends on how the day goes. And, if I'm not personally caught up in other business stuff, then, the consistency of Humble Teas is my biggest thing. But the thing is, I want to be able to make sure that everybody sees it one way or another. And it's just more so just, hey, if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. When I did start putting myself out there on social media, I was doing it on social media and I was going out in person. So I did actually have the chance to, set up a stand with someone and have my shirts be sold in public, in various intersections in various parts of Los Angeles. And that definitely helped as well as far as, building me up.
Awesome. So I guess what are the goals for your business in the next 3 to 6 months? Like what's priority number one for you right now?
Priority number one is to get rid of the current inventory that I have so that I can make room for new merchandise that I am currently creating. So I do have some new t-shirts that are up and available. And then I'm, right now getting rid of the old inventory so I can make room for new. I know it's middle of the summer, but also fall is becoming upon us. So, I'm kind of getting ready for hoodie season, the more warmer clothes. But, I want to get rid of the big thing, the more popular shirts, so I can bring in some new heat. I love that everybody's loving the Humble Teas. They're not going anywhere anytime soon, but I would like to put out some more popular designs or create some put some new designs out there that are actually going to be more popular, just as popular as the Humble Teas, as well as I would like to see this grow a little bit bigger. Maybe see myself on a bigger platform. Maybe have some bigger advertising. Maybe even collaborating with maybe a few other designers, because I've met a few who are very, very articulate in their skill. They provide some really great fashions, and I would love to see my brand mixed with some others. Doesn't hurt to even see myself on the shelves or in
Awesome.
someone's store.
So I guess you've been in business since I think you said 2016, right?
Yeah.
So I guess if we're going to have this conversation about 2, 3 years from now, like where do you see your business going?
I do see it being running autopilot, more so just being the go-to for the t-shirts. I do see myself with a warehouse, and I do see myself with a team of people who are putting out the best of the best that I'm being able to create. I want to have the line of the best comforting teas that are the walking reminders that help you be the walking wisdom that you are. My goal is to make sure that everybody's wearing t-shirts confidently, and with the little piece of, hey, I got a little think piece for you anyway. Remember me. I just want to be remembered. Humble Teas is a place to stay, and this is a safe space for people who are looking for healing. Whether it be silent or out loud, either way it goes, it's like you get to represent your best self with the t-shirt. So I want to be able to see more people wearing more of Humble Teas. I want to see people more confident, more in tune with themselves, and more selfless to the world. A little bit more aware. I like to see Humble Teas give a little bit more awareness to everybody in their individual lives, if I can do that.
That's great. So just to wrap, what advice do you have for somebody that wants to start a business and open up, start something like, so, how you started? Like, what advice, somebody who is thinking about something, what could they do right now, like actionable things to be in your position, to have a business where it's successful in selling shirts?
Honestly, my first thing is to believe in yourself first. If you believe that you can do it, go for it. Don't let anybody stop you from, whatever your goal and dream is. Go for it, whatever it may be. Do the research, even if it's a little bit of research. It's a little bit more information than what you would have gotten started with. And take that and find yourself a group of people or find a person that you can confide in that's going to help, encourage you to get to where you want to go. Because honestly, when it comes to starting a business, everyone's not going to be there to hold your hand, or not going to understand. You're going to go through every single emotion when it comes to creating something. But if you have a vision and you have a way to start making it plain and make it clear, and you can focus on that, do that. I definitely encourage everyone to get started on whatever it is they believe they can do. As long as you believe you can do it, there's nothing that's going to stop you, honestly. It
That's
starts with
amazing.
you.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Brianna. We're rooting for you. Hopefully, in a few years, you can have this conversation again. You're going to have a warehouse, have tons of employees, multi-million-dollar company, and yeah, we're wishing you like the best of luck. So,
Yes, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Qasim, so much for inviting me. I'm enjoying and telling my story with you guys. I'm glad you guys got to listen. This is amazing. I'm super excited. I feel like I need to send you guys some t-shirts now so you can kind of get the gist of
Oh,
how
thanks.
great Humble Truth is. And I don't mind doing it. I would love to send you guys something.
I was already thinking that you are going to put your shirts on sale, so we will be going to get some benefit.
Yeah, I got you. Networking. This is all the best things. It's the best you can do. So I got a
awesome.
shirt coming both you guys this
Thanks.
way.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much. That's
Brianna.
Thank you so much for the invitation, you
Nice to
guys.
talk to you. Thanks for your
thanks.
time. Bye bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.